I'm a Gito, she know, he know. The streets know, get 'em by the kilo. Nino, if you need those, holler on a dealer. I'm a Gito, she know, he know. The streets know, get 'em by the kilo. Nino, if you need those, holler on a dealer.
All right, everybody, want to welcome y'all back to another episode of Poolside Chats, man. I got a special guest in the building.
What up, though, man? This is Blk Paco in this thing.
Blk Paco of the DMST
Yeah,
podcast.
one
Drunk
third.
Mind, Sober Thoughts.
1/3 of the DMST squad.
Happy to have you in the building, my good sir.
Yeah,
How's
man.
your day going?
Everything 100.
That's what I like to hear. You know, on Poolside Chats, we always start off with a shot. We normally will toast to success. But out of respect for the homie Combat Jack, we're going to do a shot one time for him.
Shot for
Toast
combat.
up.
Yeah.
For anybody,
Woo.
For anybody who's unfamiliar, Combat Jack is a legend in the podcast community, legend in the hip hop community, legend for the culture, you know what I'm saying? Like just all around, you know what I'm saying? Good dude, definitely a legend, will be missed.
Respect to combat.
So the reason why we doing this show today is as a response video to Charlamagne the God and Joe Budden doing the This Year Was Dope, This Year Was Trash on Revolt TV. Shout out them niggas. But I was sitting there and I was watching things and I'm like, man, they got a lot of shit right, but they got a lot of shit wrong too. So I reached out to Blk Paco and see if he wanted to do a little reaction video.
And you know I'm with it. You know I'm game.
So first and foremost, Paco, I just want to ask you, in your opinion, 2017, man, was it a dope year for the culture or was it trash?
I think it was dope. I think a lot of things, as far as the culture, like we had a lot of good music, a lot of good TV shows, a lot of good entertainers coming out the woodwork. You know, black people doing big things. You know, the Netflix specials and stuff like that. I think all that was dope. You know, as far as trash, you know, Trump. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. You know,
definitely. No, I would say I 100% agree with you, man. And that's one thing that I really like that you would like that both Charlamagne and Joe did, and that you did as well, is like expanded the culture outside of just the music. You know what I'm saying? Because the culture is more than just the music, and like you said, man, like the television shows and like the movies, and so you know some of the performances and some of the like a lot of really dope things is happening. You know, it's like even like the movement that we made with like the Oscars, and you know they finally making a little noise with the Grammys, and we starting to break into these other realms where they really kind of been shitting on us. So I agree with you 100%.
Right. Do you think they just doing that because we complain about it? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Of course. No, that's 100% the reason why.
But is that really making a movement though? You know, is that really changing things though? It's because
I think it is. But even if the change is happening for the wrong reasons, the change is still happening. And I think that once the change it starts teetering that way, it's going to keep going that way.
Right. I got you.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
So I see what you mean, and I feel that. But I would rather have change for the wrong reason than no change at all.
I get it. I respect that.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and get into like responding to the video. The very first topic they had was top 5 albums. Top 5 albums of the year. And Joe Budden said he liked that Kendrick Damn, that Jay-Z 444, Rhapsody's Layla's Wisdom, the Sci-Hi the Prince, the No Dope on Sundays, and Rick Ross's album. I can't remember the name of Rick Ross's album. What was Ross's album?
Not Rather You Than Me.
I think that was it. That's it. Yeah, Rather You Than Me. Yeah. And then Charlamagne said the same thing with Jay-Z, the same thing with Rhapsody, the same thing with Sci-Hi, but he added Big Sean, whatever the name of his album was. I can't remember that shit. I didn't like it. I decided. I decided, yeah. And then one that I did feel him more was that David Banner God Box.
I didn't check that out. But I do I do have a top 5.
Okay, let me hear your top 5.
And Jay-Z 444 ain't in there.
I definitely want to hear your top 5.
So we're gonna go with Rick Ross.
Got you.
I'm going with 21 Savage.
The Issa
album, right?
Okay.
And then I'm going with Damn, Kendrick.
Got you.
I'm going with Sci-Hi. Because I've been waiting on Sci-Hi to drop for forever.
See, I'm new to Sci-Hi. I wasn't familiar with him. Like, he was a surprise for me.
Listen, man, Sci-Hi was on Cruise Summer. He wrote a lot of songs on My Dark Twisted Fantasy. Like,
that's what I've been hearing. He pretty much been Kanye's main writer.
Google him on YouTube, like, with his freestyles, his verses. Like, nigga, he murked. If you remember, what album was that? He was on that My Dark Twisted Fantasy. He was like, he said he had the verse about the black card. He said, okay, this ain't the first American Express black, whatever he said in the verse.
Got you.
But he was on that cut with Hove, Pusha T, and a couple other people. I don't know if Ghostface was on that cut. I don't know who was all on that.
Yeah, but and if you on a song with Kanye, Hove, and Pusha T, you obviously have some type of ability. Like, they're not even gonna let you be on that track if you can't hold your own.
Right. Oh yeah, no, all day. And I'm gonna go with Childish Gambino. For my top 5.
That's a respectable 5. And see, and that was my thing too. Like with the 5 that they named, or technically the 7 that they named. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a couple that was different. But there's a lot of albums that just have to be mentioned. Like, you got to mention Big Crit's album. You got to mention 2 Chainz' album. Kodak had 2 albums this year that was dope. You know what I'm saying? That 21 and Offset was dope. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, that was fire. And I forgot about Chainz though. Truthfully, but he had that album was fire, bro. Bro,
it was so many albums came out this year. It's hard to make a top 5. It's hard to narrow it down to 5 because, like,
it was some good music.
You also got Gucci dropped an album this year. Gucci dropped a couple albums this year. Yeah. Migos Culture was this year.
Right. Well, I wasn't a fan of their album, but I am a fan of them. And they and to be fair, to be consistent with hits, like, yo, that takes skill. If you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. You know what I mean? That's like all that. Especially when it's a. Go ahead. I was saying that was just like what they were saying about Nicki Minaj. Like, yo, you can't just come out of nowhere and just listen. If you consistently dropping hits, like when Drake come back out, I'm pretty sure he about to drop some fire. And we forgot about his album too that came out too.
Well, his was 2016. I don't think.
Was it end of 2016 or was it beginning of this year?
I'm pretty sure it was 2016. And I honestly wasn't a big fan. I like Drake when he raps. Like, I want him to rap. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you rap, I fuck with it.
No,
like, he
man.
got dope rap songs.
No, man. His pop shit. Listen, his singing and pop shit. That's.
I don't mind the R&B shit.
Listen, that's why I fuck with him. And
I don't like that pop shit.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you why I fuck with him. I'm gonna tell you why I fuck with Drake. You know why I fuck with Drake is because he kind of remind me of you a little bit. No, this ain't no, there ain't no like jab or nothing like that. I'm saying he kind of remind me of you a little bit, especially like you coming into the podcast game, and I've known you for years, and I've seen how you just a student of what's going on, and you come in and you gonna monetize it, you gonna make it your own, and that's what Drake did. If you go back to Drake on Cribs before he got on, or other little interviews, he a fan of Queen Latifah. He a fan of Naughty by Nature. He a fan of Korn. He a fan of all these different genres of music, and he brought it all together though. EDM, you name it.
I get it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying I don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear rap music. I want to hear R&B music. I'm not a fan of all these different genres. I don't even like reggae. I don't like that reggaeton, that dance hall shit. I'm not a fan of it. So I'm not knocking it. It just ain't what I want to hear.
Right, but you are old, so I understand.
I'm old. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the young niggas, I don't want to hear that Gucci Gang. I don't want to hear no Lil Uzi. I don't want to hear none of that shit.
Listen, some of that shit be fire, though. I
just don't want to hear that
Some of that shit be fire, though.
Some of that shit be
Come
fire.
on now,
like 21.
MTV.
I'm a fan of 21.
Keep it all the way real, though. They play that shit in the club, niggas gonna be dancing because the bitch is dancing.
I feel what you're saying.
Come on, you may not. You may listen.
The clubs I'm going to, like I'm old, like you said.
My nigga.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, them really ain't my songs.
MTV.
But that's not my genre. That's not for me.
But MTV, if you see some bitches dancing to that booty, let me see that booty. Where that booty? Yeah.
But see,
let me see that
my
booty.
old ass, I'm looking
Let me
at
see
booties
that
different.
booty.
I'm like, yo, if this bitch like this song, me and her ain't got nothing in common. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Like, I'm looking at shit different these days, bro.
Ooh. Let me see that booty. You want to dance to that shit?
Let
Nigga,
me
I
see
be
that
all
booty.
up on the bitch like that, man. No Harvey
But,
Weinstein.
hey, I was at All
No
Def
Bill
Digital.
Cosby.
Hey, I was at All Def Digital. The nigga Tony Rock, he was like, it's gonna be a song come out like, who gonna suck my dick tonight? Who gonna suck my dick tonight? And the bitch is gonna be like, I'm gonna suck your dick tonight. I'm gonna suck your dick tonight.
I kind of like that.
He's like, whatever bitch singing along with that song, that's the bitch I'm buying a drink. But shit, hold on. But let me give you my top 5.
Okay.
Let me give you my top 5.
All right.
I got Jay-Z on mine. That 444 for me was #1 album of the year.
That's because you old. Go ahead.
Because I'm old. You know, I be on that stock market shit. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's okay. That's
second-
fine. I can be on that
second,
stock. I can be on the stock market shit, but still like 21 Savage, my nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I still like 21.
Okay.
I still like 21. You know what I'm saying? Secondly, I got the Damn, that Kendrick Lamar. And the reason why I got Damn is because it was complete. It was complete. It had the beats, it had the lyrics, the videos was dope. Everything about
Right.
that Damn was 100%.
What I didn't understand is why Charlamagne said he didn't understand the album or the concept.
Hey,
Him
Charlamagne said a
growing up
couple of
as
weird,
him
wild
growing up
things.
as a Jehovah's Witness and being this spiritual person, like, yo, it was a Bible based album though.
Right.
I don't understand why you didn't understand what he was. You know what I mean?
And he said it wasn't about nothing. Like, it really had everything. It had the club song. It had the sneak diss song. It had the love song. It had the conscious song. Like, it had everything.
Everything.
So I don't understand. Like, Damn was like the perfect album. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was probably 10 years younger, that might be my #1 album of the year. But because, like you said, I'm old, I'm on that Jay-Z shit, that was my #1 album.
Now, do you think? I didn't put my 5 in no order. I just saying those was the top 5, and I like you brought it to my attention. Like, I was a big fan of that 2 Chainz album. You know what I mean?
That's my #3. That's my number
you know
three.
what I
My
mean?
number 3 is
go
Pretty
ahead.
Girls Like Trap Music.
My bad. You go ahead and finish. Go ahead.
Yeah. My #3 is Pretty Girls Like Trap Music. My #4, which I can't believe motherfuckers didn't even mention, is that Meek Mill Wins and Losses. That Wins and Losses went hard. You got to think about it. You got to think everybody said Meek Mill career is over. Drake finished him. He's done. He ain't coming back from this.
That Wins and Losses. I did forget about that album, and it was some fire.
That 1942 flows, that glow up. The intro was hard,
Yeah.
nigga.
A lot of niggas
You know
don't
what
like
I'm
him
saying?
because he's screaming on the track, man. But I love that shit though, man.
I love that shit. I like that energy.
Yeah.
I like that energy. You know what I'm saying? And then my #5 to round out my top 5, my personal top 5 is Mr. Davis. That Gucci, Mr. Davis. And I got 4 honorable mentions.
I like,
I got the God Box. I got the God Box as an honorable mention. I got Rhapsody, Layla's Wisdom as an honorable mention. I got Culture from Migos as an honorable mention, and I got Kodak's the first one he did, not this last one, the Project Baby 2, the first one, the one with tunnel vision and all that shit on it.
Kodak Black, I listen to his stuff, man. But you know, if I don't listen to your shit more than once, you know, if something didn't grab me, or I gotta holler at one of my peoples, be like, "Yo, check it out again, listen to it again." And
I got you.
And
I'm
gonna tell
understand
you
why Kodak would have that effect on you.
I'm gonna tell you like this. The 444 didn't grab me like that, man. You know, I listened to it 3, 4, 5 times. And guess what though? I'm a fan of Jay-Z. I respect his message. I think niggas been trying to get into his life for years. You know what I mean? And then he finally came out with his shit, you know, and I think I'm over with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, keep making dope music. I appreciate his movement, what he's doing.
Right.
But guess what, man? Like, listen, man, young niggas ain't listening to that shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
See,
like with us, it's educating us. Like, yeah, you know, maybe I could make a smarter move. you know, I could make another better investment and stuff like that. But young niggas, listen, that album 444 is probably 20 years ahead of its time.
It is, but at the same time, like I feel like everybody is making that the knock on it, and I feel like that's the plus of it. You know what I'm saying? Because like we got all these young niggas making this drug abusing music and this drug using music, and we got a nigga like Jay-Z who is an ex-drug dealer. He can't keep on rapping about selling drugs. Like the nigga's 40 something. He's married to the baddest bitch of all time, and he's damn near working on $1 billion. He's a former pro sports owner. You know what I'm saying? Like, what type of music is he supposed to make? And for me,
and
for
I get
impact on the culture, you need to have your OGs making OG music. Right. They can't still be making that same old Jay-Z music.
Right, no, and I respect that, and I got you. And I didn't say that the album was terrible or trash. I like the album.
But it didn't grab me.
It didn't grab me, though, and like, and then like I said, though, like, when a motherfucker 21 Savage coming and told somebody, I bought a new car for the bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Right. I'm in a Hellcat doing donuts. Like, I love that ratchet ass shit, though. I would never get out of that. I don't care.
If I'd have shot that cracker if I was Rosa Parks.
My nigga, that reminds me of some OC Murder, No Limit type shit, though, man. Like, you gotta...
I get it, and I'm not knocking 21 at all. I thought that 21 album was dope, and I thought that 21 and Offset album was one of my big surprises of the year. Like, I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. I'm like, this shit
To be fair, I gotta listen to that again. To be fair.
Nigga, that shit hard. The 21 and Offset album with Metro doing all the beats, way better than the Big Sean and Metro album. Way better. Like, it ain't even close. Right. It ain't even close. Shit was like that Big Sean and Metro was disappointing. Which is why, speaking of Charlamagne making some terrible decisions, like I didn't even like the I Decide. I ain't like that shit was mediocre at best, because we always compare Big Sean. We put Big Sean with the Kendricks, the Coles, the Drakes, like he in that tier. Like if you gonna be in the God tier, you got to make God music all the time.
I think
you know
I Decided was Rush. That what was that? That
so.
Dark
that
Paradise
right.
or whatever, Paradise Darkness. That album was fire.
Mm-hmm.
Did you listen to that music. Dark Paradise? That album was fire.
Yeah. I'm not a huge Big Sean fan. I'm not a huge Big Cole fan, but it's J. Cole fan. But at the same time, I still recognize these niggas.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I still know that they dope.
Right, and that's like what I said about the Jay-Z, man. Like I love niggas that's still spitting. 2 Chainz still spitting after 5-6 albums. And many verses that's been hard. Ross, you know what I'm saying? Him on that Jeezy and shit. Like yo, these niggas still spitting and still got it, man. No,
Gucci,
I was look before you move forward, because I know we've been talking about this for a minute. But before you move forward, what was your favorite track on the Pretty Girls Like Trap Music? What was your favorite tracks on Gucci Man, Mr. Davis?
Oh, for Gucci Man, for me personally, it was I Miss My Woes. That shit was just heartfelt. You know what I'm saying? And plus, he shouted out one of the Columbus OGs.
Bro, I got you.
That's currently doing 30. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was I Miss My Woes. And I hate to be the nigga that picks the single, but for that 2 Chainz, it's a vibe.
Nah, man.
It's a vibe. Like, nigga, that shit was just... that was my favorite. It was just so smooth.
Yeah,
it was just some riding music. It's a vibe. You know what I'm saying? That shit was hard. And like I said, I hate to be the nigga that picks the single as the number 1 song, but that's the one that I really like was my favorite song off the album.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
But yeah, like you said, we're gonna move on to the next topic. But I do want to say that Jada Kiss and Fabulous.
Oh yeah, I did listen to that. It was hard.
I don't know if you had a chance to listen yet.
Yep. Hey, it's almost like they should have did like a top 10 of the year. There was so much good music that came out though. Yeah.
Oh, so much good music. I could have easily given you 10.
Yep.
Easily given you 10 and still have honorable mentions on top of that.
I'm a Cheeto, she know, he know, the streets know I get 'em by the kilo. Nino, if you need those, holler on a dealer. I'm a Cheeto, she know, he know.